Joining us now is Noelle Essig, college and career counselor at West Bloomfield High School. As the school year wraps up, kids get themselves ready to graduate and others get ready for some big life decisions and processes such as college applications, college decisions, and making the big move. Noelle, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Tyler. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So as we get ready to end the school year, what are some of the most important things that need to be done right now for those that are high school seniors, but even those that are soon to be upperclassmen or even seniors next year, to put their best foot forward for their future, whether that be going on to college or a trade or into the workforce or just being ready for senior year, which is a big year for these students?
Yeah, that's a huge question.
Yeah.
So to address our current seniors that are often graduating, the most important thing that I'm finding right now is just helping those seniors as they've made that decision as to what college they're going to go to, really fine-tuning, making sure they're reading all the nitty-gritty details in terms of housing, in terms of deposits, orientation programs that the universities are hosting, registering for classes. It's been interesting this past week. Students have made their decisions and then they just kind of feel like, okay, now I can rest. And really the hard work becomes making sure that they are ticking off all the to-do lists that the colleges and universities have. And that's the same even for our students going off into our skilled trades or the military. There's checklists, there's things that need to happen. And we just really encourage those students to read the fine details. If they're not sure what they're going to do next year, we might have some students that are choosing to enter the world of work. There's a wonderful program here in our community called Michigan Works that can help recent graduates with finding their career pathways as well. So that's our outgoing seniors. For our rising seniors, our current juniors, we're busy at our high school right now, making sure our students have a plan for testing if they're going to need ACT or SAT tests, visiting college campuses this summer, fine-tuning that resume, adding things to it if they need volunteer experience, and then relaxing and recharging the battery, knowing that senior year is a very busy year. We want our students to take full advantages of just kind of shutting down for a little while and kind of being ready to go once the fall hits.
We're joined by Noelle Essig, the college and career counselor at West Bloomfield High School, joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. And so we know that the summers are important academically for students to get rest, but not necessarily lay off of their academics, get themselves fresh, but still be in tune academically for the upcoming school year. A lot of summer reading, maybe some other summer homework, summer school also an option. But for those that are at the lower levels in the high school, for the freshmen and the sophomores, and even those rising juniors, how important is the summer for them and getting ready for the next step after high school, even really when they're early on in their high school experience? Those summers, that time can be really important in their future decisions.
I agree with you. The summer can really be a chance to build the resume. For a lot of our students during the school year, they're really bogged down with extracurricular involvements here at our school, the academics, maybe sports. The summer is a chance to really enhance your resume, potentially, that you're going to show to colleges, universities, employers. So I love when students take advantage of volunteering locally in the community. I love when students get a job. And I think when we talk to colleges and universities and employers, those summer job experiences, no matter what they are, I don't know what kind of job you had, Tyler, when you were a student, but even if you're scooping ice cream all summer long, you're learning potentially customer service skills. You're learning budgeting, time management. Talk to your employer, find out if there's ways that you could get involved with social media marketing or whatever your career interest might be. Those are just great life experiences. And I find that many times those summer experiences are what students write about in their college application essays. So really, finding a need, volunteering, and again, things don't have to be these big glamorous things. You can find a need within your community, in your neighborhood, and do a local, beautification. That's a great thing. Again, just finding a way to do something different to help enhance that resume.
And so you mentioned that the colleges are really take positively to this job experience and also, of course, to the volunteer experiences. that kids can get over the summers. And so through the school districts like West Bloomfield, or even through Oakland County schools, or through other school districts in the area, and in your discussions with your colleagues, what sort of assistances are available for students that may be looking for summer work that they may be able to get through their school? Certainly the volunteer opportunities are also there.
Yeah, so in my building, I have a Counselor Connection newsletter that I push out twice a month to all of our students and parents, and it's on our website. Those of you listening in, if you go to the WBHS counseling website and look at Counselor Connection, we post jobs. So people in our community create a flyer. I cut and paste it. I put it on there. I put it in our newsletter and advertise it to our students. But really, in this job market right now, where employers, most companies are looking for summertime help desperately. I always say to students, think about where you would like to spend your time this summer and walk in and ask if you can apply for a summer job. It's not that hard to find a summer job right now.
Yeah, lots of positions are open across many different sectors. They're looking for people. They're looking for anyone they can train and have working there for a number of different hours over the summer. So always a good opportunity. We're joined by Noelle Essig, College and Career Counselor at West Bloomfield High School, joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. You can keep up to date with the College and Career Center through West Bloomfield High School on their Twitter page at WBHS Counseling, as well as on the website, the school district's website, WBSD.org. And so for students that are preparing for applying for school or will be applying for school over the summer months, what advice does your office have, and what assistances does your office and other offices similar in school districts throughout the area have in place for students and for families in assisting them with that process? Because it's a big process, it's an arduous process, a lot goes into it beyond the searching and just filling out the forms. What sort of assistance is there to help these families through these really important but rigorous processes?
Yeah, so for students within West Bloomfield, having someone in my position, it's pretty unique, and more school districts are putting in place someone devoted to the college and career placement process. And we have an amazing counseling team in our building, and we work in tandem. We work together to support our students beautifully. So again, for most schools, reaching out to that school counselor is a great resource for you. We in our building right now, I'm busy doing college prep workshops on all those topics that you just talked about. Asking for letters of recommendation, how to send your transcripts, how to search out scholarships, what the financial aid process is like. And then we run a college application boot camp prior to the start of school. I think many schools in our area do something similar. We do it during Jumpstart a couple weeks before school starts, and we walk our kids through that process so that they leave fully feeling supported and knowing how to fill out those college applications. And we are very honest with our students, like, we are here to support you, but we cannot fill those out for you. The support is there. And we'll run workshops throughout the school year as well. Yeah, and probably the number one place if you're feeling lost where to go is to reach out to your counseling office.
We're joined by Noelle Essig, the College and Career Counselor at West Bloomfield High School, joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Keep up to date with the school district, including the high school's counseling office and career office, by visiting WBSD.org. You can also follow the West Bloomfield High School College and Career Center by visiting their Twitter page at WBHS Counseling. That's at WBHS Counseling. For more tips, tricks, and help along the year for West Bloomfield High School families, as well as other high school families throughout the area. A lot of this information is very generally helpful to students and families throughout the local area. Noelle, in terms of testing preparation, the school district also provides some information on helping students with preparing for those tests as they're looking forward to their college admission processes and submitting those applications, maybe doing interviews, sending those test scores off. We know during the pandemic, a lot of these schools were relieving some of those requirements for certain test scoring ranges in order to get in. Is that going to be something that persists going forward now that things are starting to transition back to some semblance of normalcy? Do you imagine that colleges will slowly transition to having those be a more critical factor as they've been in the past?
Right now, all indications are telling us that things will remain the same. So the majority of colleges that during the pandemic declared themselves as test optional have stayed that way. We really don't anticipate a lot of colleges changing their mind on that. So when it comes to testing and test prep, I'm not at a point yet where I'm 100% telling students don't worry about it, because I do find that many scholarship organizations are still using test scores as a means of giving out scholarships. So I like students to give the test a try, see if those test scores help supplement their application. If they don't, then we take full advantage of test optional. There's a wonderful tool called the Common Data Set, and every college has this. So all you would need to do is Google the name of the college with the word Common Data Set, and you look for Section C. Section C will show you information about last year's incoming freshman class. So this is where me as a professional, we go when we research a school. When a student comes to me and says, Mrs. Essig, should I send this score to Duke? Well, we Google it, Common Data Set. We look to see what their average test scores of admitted students were from the last year's cycle. And if those scores are at or above, then we can say, okay, yep, it probably helps your application to send it. If they're at or below it, then we say, let's take full advantage of test optional. So there definitely can be a strategy, but I'm not at a point anymore where I feel like students have to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars with test prep and many, many hours over the summer, because in reality, they may not even use that score to begin with. But I do think it's good to give it some test prep, do the best you can, and then consult with your counselor or myself, and we can kind of just determine if we need to keep going or if we can just say, okay, we're good.
We're joined by Noelle Essig, a college and career counselor at West Bloomfield High School, joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. More information on the school district's website, wbsd.org, or by following the Counseling and Career Office, Career Center on their Twitter page, at WBHS Counseling. That's at WBHS Counseling. And Noelle, just a few more minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. As high school juniors, those rising seniors, as you said, get ready for their senior year. They come into it knowing that it's, of course, their last year in high school. A lot of them will have either have applied to colleges, maybe gotten into many of them, maybe even made their decision. And at that time, we often see in a lot of cases that they take their foot off the gas. They're not as aggressive in their academic pursuits. Maybe they get a little lackadaisical. That can have an impact on their college life too, especially for those who maybe haven't made their decisions yet or who are getting deferred admission. How important is senior year in securing your place in a college or in a trade or in other pursuits that you may have after high school?
Yeah, I love that you brought this up. Thank you, Tyler, because we have some serious cases of senioritis going on right now among our seniors, where they're just kind of shutting down and they feel like, well, I've already been admitted to my school. I know where I'm going. And I always remind students, number one, this is, many of our students, you've worked hard. This reflects on that final GPA, that final transcript. But if you get to a school and you decide to transfer, there could be a chance that the college that you'd like to transfer to wants to still see this high school GPA from your senior year. So don't let up yet. We have seen in some cases, if a student totally bombs out that last semester of senior year, kids have to realize that colleges still need to see a final transcript, a proof of graduation. So in a rare circumstance, if a student totally bombs out, a college could revoke admission, and that would be heartbreaking for students. So, again, I'm just always a person that believes, finish strong or stronger than you ever have. It's just for us, for seniors, it's just a few more weeks, but you just never know where your path will lead you. So you always want to resist that senioritis that seems to kick in that senior year. It does matter. Yeah,
and those habits will follow you too into
yes.
What you do next. If you are academically strong, you build good habits throughout your high school experience, and then you take your foot off the gas in senior year, you get relaxed, that becomes a habit that can have a big impact on you staying in your school later on.
I agree.
Noelle, anything else for us before we let you go today?
No, one thing that I forgot to mention when you were asking about resources, for the West Bloomfield juniors and seniors, we have a Canvas page, a College and Career Center Canvas page. There's all sorts of different modules that I put in there, lots of educational videos about the entire process. So please make sure you're making use of Canvas as well. But just know that your counselors are here to support you. I'm so grateful, Tyler, that you had me on to talk about such an important topic. Thank you.
Yeah, summer is an important time of year, and it's important that these students have this advice and know that there are resources there to help them across the board with a number of different things as they prepare for their senior year or prepare for life after their senior year. Noelle, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler.